Welcome back to Issues of Faith. We are happy to have with us Bishop David Choby with the Diocese of Nashville. We're talking about the visit of Pope Francis to the United States, a historic visit. He'll be here. He arrives September 22nd. He leaves September 27th. He's doing a lot in that time. And Bishop Choby, you're going to go see him, right? You'll be
I am.
one of the, at least once. But there is a meeting he has specifically with the bishops of the United States. That is in Washington, right?
Right. Begins in Washington, then to New York City, and then concludes with a presence at a conference on marriage and the family in Philadelphia.
Do you plan to be there with him the entire time?
I think that I'm going to be present, certainly in Washington, with the other bishops. He will meet with us as a group at the National Shrine, which is on the campus of the Catholic University of America in Washington. So he'll meet with us as a group. There probably will be in the neighborhood of 350, 400 bishops present for that occasion. And then there will be a Mass following that on that particular location. And I will remain there for that. And then probably I have friends in Philadelphia, so I think I'll visit them for a day or two while he's in New York and be present for some of the events in Philadelphia.
What do you expect to happen when he meets with the bishops? Is there a back and forth sort of conversation? Is there anything you would hope, or a group of you would hope, to communicate to the Pope? Just what will happen in that sort of...
The last experience that I had with a visit of a Pope was in the visit of Pope Benedict XVI. And that was interesting. That was an interesting occasion, because when the media was covering in anticipation his visit, I think that the media expected him to come to lecture, to wag his finger, you know, and say, you're doing this, that, or the other thing wrong. And it turned out to be a visit which was very positive, and he came with a very positive message, which centered around our belief in the way in which faith in Jesus Christ restores and brings us a sense of hope, you know, for the future. So I suspect that there'll be something along those lines by way of a curiosity, or wondering, what's he going to say to the group of bishops, or what will the dynamic be of that event? I suspect it will be very much like the visit of Pope Benedict XVI. We were assembled in what we would refer to as the crypt church in the basement level of the National Shrine in Washington. And Pope Benedict came in and took his place at the center of this space and delivered a paper, reflections on the nature of our role as bishops, and words of encouragement and support. You know, he will realize full well that sometimes the responsibility that a bishop carries is not always the lightest load in the world, you know, and so he probably will say a few things to be a source of encouragement. Probably will challenge us a little bit. He's known to do that, given his own way of fulfilling his responsibility when he was the Cardinal Archbishop of Buenos Aires. His love for the poor, his sense of association, you know, with the needs of the poor. I think that will probably be a part of the theme that he'll want us to reflect, that pastoral concern for those who find themselves in a condition, you know, where they struggle more through life, whether it's a material need or a spiritual need. I think he will probably address that kind of an issue with us. So anyway.
And when he goes to Philadelphia, one of his visits will be to a prison. And I'll ask you more about that in a minute. So that kind of reinforces what you're talking about there. He's actually going to visit a correctional facility. After he meets with the bishops, he will address Congress. I believe it's the next day. Does that concern you? We're such a divided country. Congress is divided, and you're going to have the Pope up there. Do you worry he gets pulled into some of the divided conflicts by addressing such a political body?
Well, you know, as I said earlier, I think he'll hold his own quite well. The occasion will be well organized. He will deliver an address, you know, to the joint body, and I think that in and of itself will provide the opportunity for him to say whatever he believes he would like to say or need to say that would be of some assistance to their role as national leaders and what have you. Am I concerned that he'll be pulled into the political process? I think it's probably unavoidable. You know, things will be said by him that individuals will react to or respond to and take exception with. That seems to be kind of the nature of life today, whether it's in politics or outside of politics. But I think the important thing is to listen to what he has to say and consider the wisdom of it, consider the attractiveness of it, and you know, people will take whatever position that they would be inclined to take.
Do you think there could be, and fallout might be too strong a word, but within your diocese, would there be people who are uncomfortable that he's up there saying this or that to Congress, or you don't?
I don't think so. I mean, obviously there probably will be some who may take exception to something, but you know, that's kind of speculative. We don't know what he's going to say. You know, I haven't been given any kind of an advanced notice of the content of his presentation or anything, so I think it's kind of pointless, you know, to consider what impact he may personally have in any of his statements, you know, upon the people. But you know, my experience of people in our diocese is one in which they really are quite wonderful and very generous, very devoted to their Catholic identity, very devoted to the Church, very generous in terms of giving themselves, involving themselves in order to strengthen the life of the Church, as is the case everywhere among all religious bodies at this point. You know, I think that we have probably some need, you know, to see the place of faith and religion in the public square, you know, to be strengthened and maybe re-energized somewhat. But I think we're pretty strong, actually, as a diocese, and we're in a part of the country that's growing and vibrant and very healthy. And I think that the response of people will reflect the faith that's already there.
We have 2 minutes left. As far as just news for our diocese, Nashville Diocese is growing.
We are. Yeah,
a lot of denominations, you're not seeing that. But talk about, you know, the headlines, I guess, what's happening in our diocese here.
Probably one of the more significant things that has happened to us personally is that in the past 6 to 8 weeks we've moved all of our programs and services to what had formerly been Two Rivers Baptist Church across Broadway Parkway from Opryland Hotel. And it allows, for the first time, probably in many, many decades, it allows for the first time having all of our offices together, all of our programs together, and within the context also of an active parish community, which is kind of interesting, the dynamics of all of that activity in our education office, in Catholic Charities, in the administrative offices, in our youth program, and then in addition to that to have an active parish community within that same facility. Makes for a wonderful dynamic, I think, that I'm very much looking forward to see develop. So we're planning planning based upon that.
Looking to the future, and the future looks very bright as far as just the growth in the diocese. And I wish we could talk to you more. They're telling me we're out of time, but thank you so much for coming on. It's a fascinating topic. My
pleasure.
And we want to have you back. So
Great.
Come back and we'll talk more about just the Nashville Diocese. But thank you for being with us, David Choby. Thanks all of you for watching Issues of Faith. Have a great day, everybody.